rather than teach you a numbering system, because every style in the Filipino martial art has a different numbering system, I'm just going to teach you basic angles. You have basically a diagonal blow on the forehand side and a diagonal blow on the backhand side. It forms what we refer to as a downward figure eight. Regardless of the weapon you use, you have a downward figure eight. Okay? You then have an upward figure eight. Notice it's going diagonal. This is the upward figure eight. Okay? You then have the horizontal blows that travel horizontal. Okay? You have the blows that travel horizontal high. You can travel the horizontal blow low if you wish. Okay? You have a vertical blow with strikes this way, one that comes completely through, others that whip through, other that snap. Okay? So basically all strokes, whether you pull through, have a watik, or you could even have a double on this side. This is what they call floretti. Okay? The interchangeable, because whether you pick up the weapon, you still have a downward figure eight. This is the kris. I'm going to go slow so that you can see the motion. This is the downward figure eight with the kris. You have the upward figure eight with the kris. Okay? You have the high horizontal. You have the middle horizontal. If you're down on your knee, you have the low horizontal. Okay? You can go from slash to thrust, slash to thrust, slash to thrust, slash to thrust. So basically, this weapon either slashes or thrusts it. It can chop or it can pull through all the way through. Okay? Again, let's review this. There are three ranges. The first range, we hit the limb when we get out of the range of the weapon. At angle 2, we're out of the range of the weapon and we hit the limb of the body. Okay? Again, we hit the limb. Number 4, we hit the limb. And number 5, hitting the limb. Okay? At middle range again, the second range is we can monitor the hand. This is usually where disarms can occur. Okay? But the main point in the middle range is that we can monitor the hand or we can touch the hand. At angle 2, again, the main thing is that we can touch the hand. At close quarter is that the puño can reach. And this is close quarter fighting. This is, of course, where all the chokes and the strangles and the foot sweeps and the throws will occur. So again, there are three ranges: long range, middle range, and close quarter. Sinawalli is double stick fighting. It could be double swords or double axe or two equal length weapons. Okay. At this point, these are drills. They are not the fighting combination. You strike inward, you go low backhand, high backhand. You go inward, low backhand, high backhand. Inward, low backhand, high backhand. Inward, low backhand, high backhand. Notice when I go inward, low backhand, high backhand, this is chambered over here. You go inward, low backhand, high backhand. Inward, low backhand, high backhand. This is what we refer to as a bisidario 6 count, because there are 6 counts to the exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In reality, he hits my hand. 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 He'll hit my hand. Okay, going into the next exercise, we refer to this as Heaven 6. Heaven 6 is the right hand is chambered below. I'll do it in front of the camera very slow. You make an inward strike, and automatically after you hit the inward strike, you cock it back or chamber it back. You make a left backhand, and then you pull it back and you make a right backhand. And then you make an inward and you chamber it underneath your armpit, put it immediately to the opposite shoulder, make a right backhand, and then make a left backhand. I'm going to do it one more time very slowly. Inward. Notice when I'm going to make an inward that I chamber the stick underneath my armpit, and then immediately cock it back into my opposite shoulder. Make a left backhand, and then make a right backhand. Inward. Notice that it's chambered underneath the armpit. I chamber it to the opposite shoulder. You make a right backhand, left backhand. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or inward, high backhand, high backhand. 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 Notice that I'm doing it stationary. Later on, you're going to do it with various different types of footwork. Let's say that Jeff is a tree, and if you have no partner, use a tree like this. You'll start off slow. Inward, high backhand, inward, high backhand, until you get the flow like this. Slowly, 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 gradually picking up the speed until you can monitor the motion or the speed of the motion in any way. Then you start to use footwork with this, okay? Now when you do it with the partner, you have a spot, we'll go slow. Inward, high backhand, 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 inward, high backhand. In reality, he hits my hand, 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 he hits my hand. This is known as the heaven six. Now we have the next combination, or the third beginning combination. We call it standard six, or heaven and earth six. It is just like the heaven six that you make an inward, and you chamber this underneath. You cock it to the opposite shoulder. You go low backhand, then go high backhand. Then you make an inward. You chamber it back to the opposite shoulder. You go low backhand, then high backhand. Inward. You chamber it back to the opposite shoulder. You go low backhand, high backhand. Inward. Chamber it to the opposite shoulder. Low backhand, high backhand. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, inward, low backhand, high backhand, inward, low backhand, high backhand, inward, low backhand, high backhand. Again, if you have nobody to work out with, you usually get a tree about this way. And you'll strike the tree, inward, low backhand, high backhand, inward, low backhand, high backhand, inward, low backhand, high backhand, inward, low backhand, high backhand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, when you do it for the partner, we'll go very slow first. Inward, low backhand, high backhand, 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 inward, low backhand, high backhand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actual combat, we try to hit the hand here. We try to hit the hand here. We try to hit the hand here. We hit the hand here. We hit the hand here. And we hit the hand here. These are the first 3 basic exercises I like to train my classes in.